The Lukaku Vlahovic swap is off for now. We're going to talk about all the details on that. Rovella, apparently Lazio is coming knocking today, and Juve more open to it. Friendly that ended yesterday. Juve next gen 8-0 victory. We're going to talk about the details on that one and what was a fun watch. All right, like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. I'm Alberto. Let's rock. We're going to kick things off talking about the friendly exhibition between Juventus and Juve next gen. It ended, of course, in 8-0. You had Vlahovic bagging himself a brace, all right, a free kick, a PK. You had the crowd supporting him, chanting Dushan, and also chanting, "We don't want Lukaku," all right. We saw Moise Kean get on the scoreboard, and we saw something that was absolutely fantastic to see, which is after a horrible patella injury, Caio Jorge returned with a hat trick, looked fantastic, got praise from Max Allegri. That was a beautiful moment for Caio Jorge. He's expected to be playing with Next Gen this season, and we wish him nothing but the best, all right? One of the main takeaways from watching this thing is really that Juve has a lot of strong young talent. All right. So this is, like I said, even last year throughout, as we started to hear more names, we started to get reports from Mirko Di Natale, Romeo Agresti, in terms of these young guys, Nonja Houston, Yildiz. This is something that Juve's done a tremendous job with, okay? And I think that was really showcased yesterday, especially at one point when you essentially had next gen versus next gen after the teams made some changes there, and it was essentially next gen versus next gen. There is so much young talent, probably the most I've ever seen at our club, and this is a fantastic thing. I wish we could keep them all. We know we can't. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but make no mistake about it, Juve's got a lot of strong prospects in their holsters, all right? Now, as far as the young guys go, we continue to hear Frosinone be the team for Sule. Apparently, Frosinone is also looking at Hans Nicolucci Caviglia and a couple other youngsters as they're newly promoted and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Of course, you have a host of other clubs looking at Hans Nicolucci Caviglia, who has impressed through preseason and whatnot. And Miretti, still uncertainty about Miretti and whether he's going to head out on loan or he's going to stick around. It's being reported that Juve is kind of not sure what they're going to do there. Of course, the Paul Pogba scenario is playing into the matter as well. We've seen that with Weston McKennie as well, as he is one piece that Juve wanted to sell, wanted to move, and now all of a sudden he's probably going to be remaining. So it's going to be interesting to see what develops, but we have an incredible amount of young talent. It was fun to watch. Pellegrini in the final stages with heading to Lazio, all right? Loan with obligation, 2-year loan with obligation. And Juve is actually going to extend his contract, very similar to what they did with Artur. That's going to bring salary down in this move, okay? But Juve does get what they were fighting for, and that was obligation, all right? Contract waiting for Pellegrini at Lazio to 2027 with an option to 2028. Some fans are unhappy because the total business value here is 6 million euro on purchase price. Juve wanted 10 to 12, all right? You do have to factor in the 2 loan years. If they're somewhere around 1.5, the total piece of business is worth 9 million. So it's not far off what Juve wanted. But the big key here, where I believe Juve did continue to stick to their guns, is Lazio wanted option only, and we fought and we got the obligation. At least it is done, it is settled, and we can move on. Yes, we don't have immediate funds that can help the cause right now, but you fought for something that's important with these pieces that are not part of Juve's project, and that is obligation and seeing the deals done and through. All right, so great stuff there. Now we move on to Marco Piazza. Marco Piazza has interest, but there is not a lot. And the latest team is Pisa from Serie B. And to be honest, if he's not interested, which he may not be, this is going to be a tough one for Juventus. So we'll have to keep following Marco Piazza. Rovella. Lazio not done at Pellegrini. They're going to be coming for Rovella, all right? And the rumors suggest that they're going to come knocking today, start to inquire, start to really dive in there. And the rumors suggest around Juventus that they are more open to a move for Rovella now than they had been previously, okay? So again, this guy's future, like I said, he's out with an adductor injury currently, not expected back until close to season start in that Udinese match, and who knows what is going to happen. The midfield is the biggest question mark, all right? It does state that Max Allegri likes Rovella, wants him to stay, but it does say that Juve is more open to it now than they were previously. Man, I'd hate to see that, but something's got to give in terms of deals, moves, finances, and we're all happy about the news we got yesterday. The news we got yesterday about Lukaku and Vlahovic swap being off for now. But something might have to give. And I said it yesterday. Something might have to give. We're not all in the clear with Vlahovic either, because obviously you still had the Bayern Munich situation with Harry Kane. However, reports today suggest that Bayern Munich is going to find that agreement and be bringing Harry Kane over. All right, so that takes them out of the equation. This move with Lukaku and Vlahovic still not technically over, though. Lukaku apparently still saying he's not going to be accepting anything other than Juve. This thing could go down to the wire. Chelsea stopped at 25 million euros roughly on top of Lukaku. Juve fighting for the 40 that they want over and above, and finally getting some backbone. But maybe, just maybe, this means other moves that we also don't want to see. Rovella could potentially be one of them. Maybe, just maybe, you see a move for another big player out of Juve that you don't want to see move. Who knows? But not all free and clear right as of now. You still have rumors and rumblings about Elkin putting in a bond for this team as well. So who knows what's going to happen. But that is the latest right as of now. Di Marzio, Fabrizio Romano, shortly after the friendly ended yesterday, saying that the Lukaku Vlahovic swap is off because Chelsea's not willing to come up and Juve is not budging, which I do actually appreciate. After years of giving in to absolutely everyone, we're now starting to see a management that's sticking to their guns. They stick to their guns with Pellegrini, trying to fight for that obligation, and got it. And they stuck to their guns with Vlahovic in the terms that they wanted over and above Lukaku. And hey, if they're not meeting it, dust it off and move on. And we're also seeing them sticking to their guns on Zakaria and what we all thought was a done deal. Okay, loan and then obligation, 18 million with 2 million on loan, making it 20 million euros total. We are now hearing that it's 23 million euros. Okay, a done deal with a lot of capital coming in for Juve. Apparently Monaco and Juve fighting for the final details, but now up to 23 million euros, and Juve wanted 23 to 25 million euros. So a good positive shift in how management is working. Hey, maybe, just maybe, but it is all positive that we are sticking to our guns despite being in a situation where everyone knows we need the money, all right? So great stuff as far as that goes, all right? Pogba, last one, his status. Max Allegri says he is unsure. He thinks we're going to be seeing him in a month's time, and not starting in a month, but coming off the bench and making cameos, all right? So there you have it, everybody. That is your news update to today. You guys know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me have it. Let me know exactly what you're thinking on all the news you heard here today. How do you feel about the management, how they're moving? Do you see some type of change, some type of backbone being developed here finally? How do you feel about the potential of Rovella moving on? Would you do that if it meant keeping, Vlahovic around and making some moves on some youngsters that maybe we don't want to see sold? What would you do? Let me know in the comments section. Let's mix it up. I'll be back tomorrow with another daily update video. Till then, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juve, ciao tutti.